Welcome again. Last day we have discussed few applications of Gauss law. Today we will extend the discussion to the little more. We will discuss today the application of Gauss law in finding the electric field due to a charged spherical shell. Shell means a sphere which is hollow inside, which is charged. So charge resides over the surface of that spherical shell. So we have to find out the electric field due to that charged spherical shell. So here is the situation. Let me draw the diagram first. Suppose this is a spherical shell which is hollow inside with center O and its radius is R, capital R, and charge, for example, plus Q lies over the surface of this spherical shell. So this is the situation we are given. We have to find out the electric field due to this charged spherical shell. So we can find out the electric field at different points. We will find the electric field at 3 points here. The point which lies outside this spherical shell, the point which lies near the surface of this spherical shell, and the point which lies inside the spherical shell. And we will see what electric field is there due to the spherical shell. So for doing each kind of expression or electric field, calculate electric field, we simply draw a Gaussian surface through the point around this spherical shell. So let us take the first case that we are willing to find out the electric field outside this spherical shell. So we take any point, for example, this is P point, where we are interested in finding the electric field due to this charged spherical shell. So for doing that, as I have discussed, we draw a Gaussian surface through this point around this spherical shell, just as this. So here it is the sphere, or we can say a Gaussian surface, which is not actual but it is enclosing some charge, right? And this is the Gaussian surface through this point P, where we are willing to find out the electric field which lies outside this spherical shell. So this is the Gaussian surface. Let this Gaussian sphere is having radius R. So this is small, we represent the radius by small r of the Gaussian surface. So the electric field due to this spherical shell at point P, it will be radially outward, right? So it will be radially outward. So means at every point of this Gaussian surface, the electric field due to this charged spherical shell, the electric field will at every point will be uniform, means constant, because every point is at same distance from the spherical shell, from the center of the spherical shell, and it is also directed normal to the Gaussian surface. So the direction of electric field is always normal to the Gaussian surface. So therefore we can use the Gauss law here. So in order to apply the Gauss law, we take that there is elementary part of this Gaussian surface of magnitude ds, and with area vector ds vector. So we consider this very small portion of this area of this Gaussian spherical surface ds, for which we draw the area vector ds vector as we have shown here, which will be always normal to the surface and radially outward. So from the definition of electric flux, the first case we are finding the electric field at point outside, so that its radius is, the radius of Gaussian surface is more than the radius of the given spherical shell. So by the definition of electric flux, the electric flux due to this small area through this small area element ds is given by strength of electric field dot the area vector ds vector. Now because electric field as well as the area vector are along the same direction, so therefore the magnitude of this quantity reduces to E ds cos theta, cos because angle is 0 between the two because both are along the same direction. So this term reduces to E into ds into cos of theta. So cos theta remains cos 0 because angle is 0, they are along the same direction. So this means the small electric flux is given by E ds. Then what is the total electric flux through the whole Gaussian spherical surface? So that therefore total flux it will be given by integrating all such electric flux over the closed surface S of the Gaussian surface. This Gaussian surface. So this is equal to closed integral of E ds over the whole Gaussian surface. Because electric field is constant at every point of this spherical Gaussian surface, so this can be taken out of the sign of integration. So this electric field into closed integral of surface ds. So this is the total electric flux by the definition of electric flux. But Gauss law says that total flux. Now we are applying the Gauss law. This is the application of Gauss law. By Gauss law, the total flux it is given to be the charge enclosed by this Gaussian surface per unit the permittivity of the free space or the space in which it is lying. Because this is the Gaussian spherical surface, it is enclosing whole given charge spherical shell. So this means this Gaussian surface is enclosing the charge equal to Q, which is lying over this spherical shell. So that's why we are using the Q value same here. So this is the total flux through the Gaussian surface by the Gauss law. Because these two equations are talking about the same quantity, total flux through the same Gaussian surface. So from these two, from 1 and 2, we can say that this flux is equal to the flux given by the Gauss law. That is E total integrate surface integral over a closed surface. This is equal to Q upon epsilon naught. We can also represent this charge in terms of the surface charge density of the given spherical shell. Just like this. Because surface charge density, if it is represented by sigma and the total area of this charge spherical shell is 4 pi capital R square. So this is, we can also represent this into this form. So we are representing the charge enclosed by Gaussian surface, spherical surface into in terms of the surface charge density of this spherical shell, charge spherical shell, having the total surface area 4 pi capital R square. So from here, from this equation, it is clear that electric field into this quantity is simply asking for the total surface area of the Gaussian spherical surface of radius small r, which is 4 pi r small r square. This is equal to Q upon epsilon naught. I am using just this value. You can also use that one if you want a different expression. So electric field from here 4 pi r square goes to the right side. So we are left with only 4 pi epsilon naught into Q upon r square. So this is the expression for the electric field due to a charged spherical shell just outside the spherical shell. So in order to do that, in order to find that electric field, what we have just did, we just draw a Gaussian surface around this spherical shell through the point where we are willing to find out the electric field. So this is very simple to understand. And if we recall the expression for the electric field due to a point charge q, for example, if this whole charge which is distributed of this spherical shell, if it is lying at this one point, or we can say at a point, and we are willing to find out the electric field due to this charge at distance r, then we get the same expression. If you remember it, we get the same expression. So that simply means from here we can conclude that by understanding these two situations, we can conclude that whenever we try to find out the electric field just outside a charged spherical shell, the spherical shell behaves just as a point charge. So that is the expression for electric field at a point outside the spherical shell, charged spherical shell, for which its radius is more than the radius of the spherical shell. Okay, now what if we are willing to find out the electric field over the surface, just outside the surface, near the surface, just outside the surface, so that this R at the surface, so that R is very nearly equal to capital R. This is just outside this spherical shell. So therefore electric field turns out to be the same expression, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into q upon, now the distance, because the point is lying just outside the spherical surface which is very close to R. So that means Gaussian surface is having the radius equal to capital R, the radius of the spherical shell. So it is simply q upon R square. So this is the second expression. And what if we are willing to find out the electric field due to this spherical shell inside the spherical shell at a point? So in third case, we are taking that the point P is, for example, here inside this spherical shell. So we draw a Gaussian surface and proceed in the same manner as we have done earlier. So let this radius of this spherical shell is represented by small r, which is now less. So we are finding the electric field inside spherical shell which is charged, so that small r, the radius of the Gaussian surface, is less than the radius of the spherical shell. In that case, if we write this expression electric flux, which is given by integration just like this, ds, this is by definition. This, according to Gauss law, it is given by q upon epsilon naught, but this is the charge which is enclosed. According to Gauss law, we have to take the charge which is enclosed by the Gaussian surface, because in this particular situation the charge is lying only over the surface. So if we draw a Gaussian surface inside it, so this Gaussian surface will enclose no charge, because charge is lying only on the surface. So that means from the Gauss law the total electric flux is 0, because charge enclosed is 0. So from here we can understand that the electric field inside the spherical shell will be 0. Even if we find this, because electric field is inside a spherical shell is 0, and hence Gauss law also answers this concept that electric field inside a hollow spherical shell is 0. So this is the expressions for finding the electric field due to a charged spherical shell at different points, outside it, near the surface, and a point inside the spherical shell. So just outside the spherical shell behaves just like a point charge, so that its electric field finds the same expression as the expression due to a single point charge. and if the point lies over the surface or just outside the surface, we got this expression. And if point is lying inside the spherical shell, the electric field is 0. So if there is a question that why electric field inside a spherical shell is 0, this you can also answer by this concept of Gauss law, because according to Gauss law, the total flux through a Gaussian surface is always equal to the charge enclosed per unit the permittivity of the medium. In that case, because charge enclosed is 0 in case of spherical shell, hence we can say that electric field inside is 0. The next application is if we are willing to find out the electric field due to a charged solid sphere. Now we are having the sphere which is solid, means it is a volume over which charge is distributed. So if we are willing to find out the electric field due to a charged solid sphere. Now this sphere is not empty or hollow inside, it is a solid sphere. So means charge which is given to this solid sphere is distributed all over the volume of this spherical shape. So here is the solid sphere with center O and radius capital R as we have taken, and charge plus Q is distributed all over the volume of this solid sphere. So we can represent this charge. The first thing we do, we represent this charge in terms of the volume charge density of this solid sphere. So this charge is given by the volume charge density, which is rho into the total volume of this solid sphere, which is 4 by 3 pi r cube. So this is how we represent the charge over the volume of this sphere, right? So to find out the electric field, we find the electric field in the similar way at the 3 points: outside a sphere, over the surface of a sphere, and inside the sphere. Let us take the first case where we are finding the electric field at a point just outside this solid charged sphere. So here is point P. So we draw a Gaussian surface through this point P. So this is the situation. So this Gaussian surface, let it be having radius small r. So for a point outside where the radius of Gaussian surface is more than the radius of this solid sphere, in that case, by definition, we extend the discussion in the similar steps. By definition, the small electric flux due to small area element, we consider a small area element around this point where we are willing to find out the electric field, which is directed radially outward. So electric field due to this sphere, solid sphere, at this point is directed radially outward, and we consider a small area whose area vector can be drawn radially outward by the definition of area vector ds. So the small electric flux through this small area ds is given by E dot ds, and because again both are directed along the same direction, so we get this expression as E ds. Cos theta remains 1 because angle remains 0, so cos 0 1. So therefore total flux phi, this can be calculated over the through the whole surface as integrating these small electric flux over the closed surface S of this Gaussian surface. So it is E ds. That is equal to, because electric field at every point of this Gaussian surface is constant, so we can take it outside of this sign of integration and we are left with only this expression. So this is the again electric flux by the definition of the electric flux in the given situation. If we apply the Gauss law here, by Gauss law, the total flux through a Gaussian surface is given by the charge which is enclosed by this Gaussian surface, which is Q per unit epsilon naught. Because both of these quantities are talking about the same situation. So these are the quantities of same situation. So from 1 and 2, we can say that the electric flux given by this equation is the same as electric flux given by Gauss law. So this means E integration ds over a closed surface, this is equal to Q upon epsilon naught. So from here, this term simply represent the total surface area of the Gaussian surface through which the electric flux we are calculating. So it is E into 4 pi r square. So this is equal to Q upon epsilon naught. So from here, electric field reduces to the expression 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. This term goes to the right side into Q upon r square, which is again the same expression as we have found earlier. So in this case also, if we compare the situation with the point charge Q, the electric field due to point charge Q at a distance small r, we get the same expression. So we can conclude from these two discussions that whenever we are calculating the electric field at a point outside a sphere of charge, solid sphere of charge, the solid sphere of charge behave as a point charge, and electric field is very similar to the electric field due to a point charge. And if this point P is lying over the surface, then electric field will be at the surface. R is equal to capital R. So the electric field will be given by 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into Q upon, because the point P is at the surface for which R is capital R. So it is R square, which is again as our previous result. We can convert this charge, of course, in terms of the volume charge density of this solid sphere, which we have already written. And third case, whenever we are willing to find out the electric field, so this was the second case. At the surface, R is equal to capital R, so that electric field is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into Q upon capital R square, and here it is E is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into Q upon small r square. Both are enclosing the same charge. And in third case, whenever we are willing to find out the electric field inside where small r is less than capital R, the situations are almost similar but slightly different. So here we take a point which is inside. Now suppose that here is point P, so we draw a Gaussian surface through this point P, and the radius of this Gaussian surface is small r, so that small r is less than capital R. Now the electric field, as we have discussed earlier, into ds, this is equal to charge, we represent it as charge which is enclosed by this Gaussian surface as Q dash, because it is not the charge which is equal to Q. The charge inside is comparatively less. So we represent it by some other symbol Q dash, for example, upon epsilon naught. So we just write the value of Q dash here. So Q dash is the charge enclosed by this Gaussian surface having radius small r. So how do we find the charge over this Gaussian surface? In terms of the volume charge density. The volume charge density is given by rho. So from here it is rho into the volume of this Gaussian surface. Rho is the charge over 1 unit of volume multiplied by total volume of the Gaussian surface is 4 by 3 pi r cube upon epsilon naught. So from here the electric field, this area of this Gaussian surface is simply 4 pi r square, and this reduces to rho into 4 by 3 pi r cube divided by epsilon naught. So from here the electric field just reduces to this expression 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into, whenever we take r square here, r square cancels out and we are left with what? This rho into 4 by 3 pi into r. We can substitute this value of rho here and hence calculate the electric field further. So this is the expression for the electric field just inside the spherical solid sphere which is charged. We can also convert this volume charge density into the charge itself. So this can be written as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into, this can be written as the total charge which is Q per unit total volume of this solid sphere which is 4 by 3 pi capital R cube into, this is 4 by 3 pi r. So on solving, what we get from here, the electric field reduces to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Some terms cancel out, just 4 by 3 pi, 4 by 3 pi cancels out. So we are left with only QR upon R cube. So this is the another form of the electric field inside a solid, charged solid sphere. So that's all for now. Thank you.